the guts right now. So it's like, okay, pillow talk gone just a little too far in my head. But something about the way she was looking at me, I knew she meant what she was saying. You know, we finish up great, you know what I'm saying? We in town for like 2-3 more days. It's just more 2 or 3 more days just like that. Just her just being like instantaneous, like wife, like in my life, you know what I'm saying? Like doing everything like that you would think we would have been in a relationship for 5, 7, 10, 15 years. Like the way she moved, the way she operated, it was just organic for her to move like that. We had a really good time, and she didn't stay. She only stayed like an hour from me. She was from Ohio as well. So she only stayed like an hour from me. So I was like, hey, when we get back to the, town now, I ain't even gonna tell a lie. I was enjoying the moment. And she told me, her life's a little different when she gets home. She got her kids and stuff like that and her job. I was still like, I like kids. I can work with kids. That's never been a problem for me. So we talked about linking up when we got back. So she left the day before I did. And, of course she was like, I'll pick you up from the airport and you don't have to get no Uber. I can take you home and then we can hook up when you, get settled or whatnot. So she picks me up from the airport. Now, literally, I ain't never in the history of me being black with skin on my body, I ain't never had a woman pick me up from the airport and she had a sign. She had a big sign that said, "That's my baby." Like, and she holding the sign up when I pull up to, come out with my luggage or whatever. And I'm just like, and I mean, I'm just saying, it was just like little bitty stuff like that. Like she just literally had it on. It was natural for her, like literally. So she take me to the crib and, we hung out for a minute and it got late. And so, she had left and we was like, we were going to go out the next night. So I go to pick her up. She comes out, big house. I mean, like the house was like, it had to be like about 5,500 square foot. I'm like, I'm joking, right? I'm like, what football team staying there with you? And she like, you so silly, and we went out. We had a good time. It got late, probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. We done had a couple drinks. So we come back to her house. She like, come on in. And, she's like, just be quiet. The kids in there, everybody sleep. And I'm like, okay. So we quiet. We stumbling around. The house is big. I could just tell it's huge. And so we, get up in the room and, we get in the room and it's dark and, we ain't cut the lights on. We just got in the bed, and we got to it. This is the part I told you to wait for. This is where it gets very time swoopish. Let's just say that. Okay, this is the shit that only happens to me. So it's early in the morning. It's probably like about 7 o'clock, 7:15, and we in the bed. I'm half asleep, and she, she rolls over and she's like, "Good morning, King," and she, starts kissing me, rubbing the back of my neck, and rubbing my head and everything. And she gets down to the member, and she's, rubbing the member and arousing the member, and I'm thinking, okay, morning sex, let's do it. So DeLamonte wakes all the way up because he's prepared. Then all of a sudden I hear, "Mama, do we gotta go to school today?" And I'm like, "Mama, what?" And I'm like, where that voice? Like her son was in the room, like laying on the floor at the foot of the bed. And I'm like, oh, what's happening? Before I can even respond to the son being already in the room, her daughter bust open in the room with no shirt on, and she's like, "Mama, I can't figure out how to put this bra on. I don't understand." And she's like, "Hi, Tom." And I'm like, "Hi, Tom, what is happening right now?" So she gets up, start helping her daughter with the bra. The son gets up off the floor and he's, "Mom, do we gotta go to school?" And and then her sister leans into the room and she's like, "Hey, Tom, how you doing?" And she's like, "Hey, are you gonna make the bacon this morning or something like that? Because Mama down there struggling." And I'm like, "Mama, the bacon? What is happening right now?" So she grabs me by the hand and she's like, "Hey, it's some things I need to tell you, but it's a lot going on right now and it's about to get a whole lot busier." You know what I'm saying? And now I don't have any clothes on at this point, right? And my clothes are nowhere to be found. My shoes are gone. My clothes are gone. I don't know what's happening right now. So I'm like, where are my clothes at? You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Oh no, I got you. So I'm standing there with the bed cloth over me and she's like, come on to the bathroom." And so she runs me a shower and, she's like, "I'll get your clothes, whatever." So I get in the shower. Now I'm standing in the shower and I'm like, man, it's a lot going on. I think I should just go home. She gets in the shower. She's naked. She's getting in the shower. And she's like, "All right, look, I know it's a lot going on, but are we going to figure this out? I should have probably already told you this. This is literally my family. This is my life every day." And I'm like, "Hey, well, we got to talk about." Now while we're talking, she's lathering me up, washing my back, all this stuff. And I'm like, in one hand, I'm like, what is happening? Another hand, I'm like, I love this woman. So she's like, look, we got 9 minutes. You want to talk about this right now, or you want to talk about it wink, wink? Wink, wink, after. Now, DeLamonte was already up and ready to play. I said after. So we did all that in the shower. She comes, so I get out the shower. My clothes have been washed, ironed, and folded and are sitting right there for me to put on. So I put on my stuff. I go downstairs. Everybody is downstairs. Like, I didn't know if it was a family reunion or they lived there. It was just a lot going on, right? The dad, he like, sit down, Tom, sit down. So, no, you sit right here. And he was at the head of the table. He told me to sit at the head of the table. He's like, no, Tom, you sit down right here. So I sit down, and the mom come up and she put a plate of food right in front of me, eggs, bacon, sausage, gravy. I'm like, what in the Denny's is happening? And so, the dad, like, you know what I'm saying, I hear you're a good photographer, Tom. I hear you're good with that camera. You know what I'm saying? I carried one up there upstairs that can't get it to work for nothing. You think you can look at it? So then the sister come down with her husband, and she like, hey, hi, Tom, how you doing? And the dude like, hey, Tom, how you doing, man? Everybody knows me. I don't know nobody. Like, I'm like, hey, you. So old girl comes down. She sits next to me, and she's just like, hey, everybody, don't pressure Tom. Like, I didn't tell him everything, and we need to still have a really good conversation, da 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 da. And so everybody just bust out laughing and like, oh, you doing what you did the last time. You doing what you did the last. I'm like, the last time? I was going to just get up and bounce, but the way that eggs and bacon was set up, and I could tell she had used the bacon grease when she made the eggs. Don't judge me. I was hungry. So I finished my food. I was like, hey, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back to, my house, da 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 da. And so she walks out to the car. She was just like, look, I understand this is weird, but like, this is our family house. This is literally how we operate. Everybody lives in one house. And I was like, who all live here? And she was like, me, my kids, my sister, her kids, her husband, my brother, his girlfriend, my mom and dad. Y'all Mexican? And she's like, no. This is just literally how we work. Everybody's, we split all the bills and everything. It just works like this. This is how it's always been in our family. Like, my last husband, this is where he lived here too. And I'm like, you was married? And she was like, yeah, I've been married twice. And I'm like, you was married twice? We ain't talk about that? I'm like, Tom, you missing stuff. But I had got enamored with all the stuff she was doing. I wasn't following my own rules. Ask all the right questions up front. Make a long story short, I did go back home. I got to thinking, I'm like, is this something I want to do? Like, she got so many pluses that I was just like really contemplating it. And so I called her later on that night. I was like, let's talk. So we talked, and I was like, can you see yourself, living outside of that situation and not living with your parents and, having your own home and your own family and stuff like that? And she was just like, I've tried it before. I don't like it. I like living with my family. I like all of the people. I like all of that stuff. And I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. It felt like a football locker room, but 24/7. And I was like, I don't know. She was like, I know I should have told you. If you got, second thoughts, I understand. So I was like, give me a few days to think about it. I ain't gonna lie. A few days turned into like a month, 2 months. Then I happened to be on Facebook scrolling one day and I saw her. And so I just, I hit her with the, hey, how you doing, in her inbox or whatever. And she was like, hey, Tom, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? She was like, I miss you. I started to respond, but I was like, I can't. I'm gonna just let this go because I couldn't do it. Would you have done it? Let me know in the comments. But hey, this is just another sad, horrible dating experience. I'll see you in the next one.